Welcome to the Nightly Rant
with
your hosts, Mike
and Torya.
This is the show where we examine society from a sarcastic point of view.
If you like insane conversations, this is definitely the show for you.
Let's get into today's topic. So, without getting into politics here, I just wanted to say that Trumpy's second term, way wilder than his first term.
Wilder?
It's only been 30-ish days.
Yeah. It's only been 30 days. Yes, indeed.
And so much has happened. And of course, now they're all yelling Russia, 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 even louder than the last time. And then you got these crazy people going around believing ridiculous things that the media is feeding to them without bothering to check it out.
So I have to tell you something funny before you go on.
Go ahead.
Americans' fear of Russia is hilarious to me as a non-American.
Every country in the world is afraid of Russia.
They're little afraid. Russia's got the nukes, whatever. Not so scary. Okay, they might come through Alaska and bomb Canada, whatever. No big deal. But Americans hate Russians. Capital hate.
Just today, Justin Trudeau said that Russia and Putin are our most feared enemy.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, like
Why
I
would
said,
you ever listen to Justin?
every country in the world is afraid of Russia for obvious reasons. But ours is worse because if you remember from history, we fought that Cold War with them. And I remember Reagan calling out Gorbachev on a TV address. And it was like so tense. Every Friday, we would have air raid sirens go off because they had to test them. Every Friday when I was a kid. But then today you got this lady on here talking about how she hopes that all Trump voters, the females, the women who voted for Trump, get exactly what they voted for. She hopes that they can't get any health care. She hopes that they die while giving birth. And then she tells them that they're not going to be able to have that family they dreamt of because IVF is no longer legal. But if she was paying attention, it was only like 10 days into the term that he signed an executive order saying that IVF would be available everywhere and that it needed to be cheaper.
Right. He gave 90 days or something for people to submit their ideas on how it can get cheaper and all that good stuff.
Yeah, he's trying to come up with a plan to make it cheaper with his team. But like, how does someone do that? They're clearly not paying any attention, but we're supposed to listen to them. And that's what's even funnier is they have the balls to record themselves and go on TikTok and display their stupidity.
I don't think it takes balls. I think it's sheer stupidity.
That's just so amazing to me that it's the exact opposite of reality, but yet there they are. It brings up the topic, though, of pregnancy, because obviously in the mix in the election was abortion rights, and then they kept talking about women's rights and pregnancy. So I understand that you have, am I the asshole that relates to pregnancy? Let's hear it.
This one, I cannot decide for myself.
To remind everybody, she has found this and she's read through it. She knows what's in it. I know nothing about it except its general topic is pregnancy. I don't know its title. I don't know nothing about it. And I'm going to react as we go along. I'm allowed to interrupt, to ask questions and make statements because I can forget things real easily. Long and short of it, at the end, I'll give you my opinion about who's the asshole. Then she's going to tell you who she thinks is the asshole. And then you guys can tell us who you think is the asshole in the comments.
Okay. Am I the asshole for leaving my pregnant wife because she stopped using birth control on purpose? My wife wanted a third child, but I did not. We had agreed on having 2. Suddenly, she became pregnant, and despite my protests, she decided to keep the baby. This led to numerous fights, and eventually she left for her sister's house. During their dispute, her sister revealed to me that my wife had intentionally stopped using birth control. She showed me messages where they had planned the pregnancy because I was unwilling to have a third child. After my initial shock wore off, anger consumed me. I confronted my wife, and after initially denying it, she confessed. I sought legal advice and served her with divorce papers. I was concerned about divorcing her while she was pregnant, but thankfully it's permissible in my state. She's currently 7 months pregnant, so I requested a court date 6 months from now, believing she'll be sufficiently recovered to attend. I informed my wife that I wouldn't support her during her pregnancy or her childbirth. I wouldn't drive her, feed her, help her, or be present during labor. I made it clear that I wanted nothing to do with the baby she wanted. She could care for him alone. I contacted her sister to provide support, as I refused to do anything for her. Fortunately, her sister agreed to help.
I already know who the asshole is, but go ahead.
I obtained emergency temporary custody of our 2 children, but I'm willing to consider 50-50 custody once my wife has recovered from childbirth and can properly care for herself and the kids. During a video call, I offered my wife the option of adoption, and I agreed to sign my consent. However, she declined. When her mother threatened me with child support, I warned her that I would deduct it from the college fund contributions for our 2 existing children. I believe if my wife wanted the child, she should take full financial responsibility for him. Despite my wife's pleas for forgiveness and apologies, I don't feel bad about my decision. I feel no remorse. I didn't encourage her to stop using birth control, and I am utterly disgusted by what she did. That's all.
Is birth control 100% effective? Just asking.
No.
All right.
But it's
So-
99.9% effective taken properly.
But as a man, I always know that if I'm going in bare and the woman is on birth control, that I'm at her mercy because you just said it's 99.9% effective when taken properly. What if they're not taking it properly? I have to trust that they're taking it properly. If you're really that concerned and you're so convinced that you absolutely 100% do not want another child, wrap that thing up.
Forget the snips.
Like, take care. That's one issue. The other issue, though, is purposely knowing that your husband doesn't want another child and planning to do what you did. That's pretty asshole-ish as well. So we got 2 assholes here, but I'm going to give the husband the bigger asshole award because of how he reacted afterwards. The way he reacted afterwards was like a piece of trash, piece of garbage, jackass. Like, just that I don't care whether you wanted that child or not. Like I said, you could have wrapped it up, you asshole, but you didn't wrap it up, you asshole. And now you're having a child with a woman, and you're not only not helping the child, you're not helping the mother of your child. How many times have we laid out money to help certain somebody without actually giving it to them, like paying someone's car insurance, buying a car, etc., etc., etc.? How many times? And it definitely benefits the other person. And you do it for the kid, but it does benefit their mom. It just does. So you have to deal with that. That is not right. So he gets 2 assholes. She gets 1 asshole. I've never seen a multiple asshole episode before. Never.
I told you this one was
So
crazy.
what do you think?
There's a comment that was left on it that I almost entirely agree with.
You shouldn't read the comments until after we discuss because it makes you biased.
Nah. Sometimes I just think that people are idiots.
But if you didn't read the comments, how would you be able to point out the good comments like Catch-22?
Now,
You just have to stop being biased. Make up your own mind.
This comment is basically how I feel, so that's why I'm going to share it with you now.
Cool.
If it were me in this situation, I would leave my spouse in this situation also. There are some things you just can't come back from. The one thing I have a problem with is taking child support away from your children's college funds. Punishing your children for the sins of their mother is not okay and does not make sense. I realize you're traumatized, but get some therapy and get your head on straight.
I agree with that.
Yep.
But it still makes him an asshole for the way he reacts. That guy didn't say either way. So you're not saying either way either. You're being non-committal, which we're not allowed to do in this episode. So I need an answer,
He
asshole
did.
or not asshole.
He said he would leave his spouse in the same situation, but that the guy's being an asshole about the way he's treating his kids. So he's only giving him 1 asshole.
Okay, but I'm giving him 2 assholes.
Okay.
Because it's not about leaving his wife. He can break up with his wife and get a divorce, but he still has to take care of his kids. All of his kids, not just the 2 that were already there.
So why is he getting 2 assholes from you then?
One asshole for not taking care of his kids, and a second asshole for saying he wants nothing to do with his new child. What's he going to do? Go pick up the other 2 and leave that one at home? Yeah, okay. double asshole.
And I also think that he's going to end up paying child support for this
Legally,
child
yes.
regardless. Like, he might be able to get the child support a
Let
little
me
bit
ask you
lower.
let me ask you a question. He won't, because child support in every state is a formula. But let me ask you a question. How is it any different than he goes out to the nightclub, oons, 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 and he sees Big Boobs Betty over there. And he's, hi, Big Boobs Betty. How are you? And Big Boobs Betty says, oh, I like you. Let's go home. And they go home together. And he says, before they get to that point, he's like, do I need the condom? And she's, no, it's okay. I'm on birth control. And she's not. And a few weeks later, you hear from Big Boobs Betty that Big Boobs Betty has Little Boobs Betty on the inside. Okay. What the hell, man? You're going to pay child support for that. It doesn't matter that she tricked you into it. You're paying child support, whether you like it or not.
And you know what? Because he wants absolutely nothing to do with that kid, he's going to end up paying maximum child support.
100% towards, because remember, it's a scale that changes the formula depending on which direction spends the most time.
Now, I think, however, being me and being super cynical, that he should probably get a paternity test on that.
I agree with you because, I mean,
just a little
granted,
too convenient.
he saw texts that said they were planning to do this, but that could have all been set up after the fact. She could have been off cheating on him, gotten pregnant, and out pops this green baby. He's the brownest or whitest man ever. What the hell? You had sex with an alien? Probably. I don't know. I think you're right.
You're
I think
losing it, man.
I'm telling you how I feel tonight. I'm just in the mood to rant a little bit, and so I'm ranting. This is the goddamn fucking nightly rant. We're not even nightly anymore. Why don't we change the name to weekly rant?
Because that doesn't sound as good.
The weekly rant, and then you put a line through the word nightly, and now there you go. I think it's cool. But anyway, you'll never agree to it. I know that.
The occasional rant.
That is weekly for the most part.
Anyway, back to your rant, you psychopath.
I think it just goes back to what we started talking about, because now we can get to the point where we land the airplane. You and I just started out talking about the lady saying that IVF is illegal. Like, how do people not check into things? How do you not, oh, my wife's supposed to be taking birth control. Maybe I should go look and make sure once in a while. Is there harm in that?
No.
No, and here's the thing. I'm going to put you this way. The only way you can do that is if it's sitting out there on the counter.
Right.
Then you can do it. Don't go snooping. If you have to go snooping because she hid it somewhere, you have your answer.
Right.
You can't trust it, and you're going to have to wrap it up. Or take the risk. Those are the two choices. Like, those are your two. And that's the thing that gets me. I was taught as a teenager that those were always your two choices. If you're going to have sex with somebody, you have two choices. You can trust that they're on birth control and go for it, or wear a rubber. And then it became always wear a rubber because STDs. So the only real change to what I was taught. And it's still taught the same way. So I don't understand how people are so stupid that they don't check into these things. IVF is illegal. Simple Google search. Is it illegal? No. In fact, it's legal in every state. And they have at least one clinic in every state. You're going to have to travel. But what people don't seem to grasp is it has to go somewhere. They can't have one every. One of the things that's unfair about that is if you have one in every state, then every state is equal. But if it were like California and you'd want one near Sacramento, another one near San Francisco, they're only allowed one.
No, there's more than one IVF clinic in the state of California.
One.
There's a minimum of one in every state.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think it's cool that these things are given to people, but not when it's used to cover money laundering, basically. They give away the money to programs that don't actually exist. Instead, they're funding this campaign and that campaign. That's why they've noticed. We'll talk about this later offline.
Okay.
Anyway, it just pisses me off that people don't bother to check into anything about anything. They're just dumb. And what's even worse is the people online that go off and start calling you an idiot before they even bother to pay attention to what you said. Oh my gosh, that chaps my hide. I want to through the phone and just strangle their little neck. Like, what's wrong with you? Actually, I'd just give him a little shake. I wouldn't strangle them. I'm not actually violent.
You know, Bart Simpson strangled them, like Homer does to Bart, where he strangles him but doesn't actually kill him.
No, I wouldn't even strangle them like that. I would just shake them and be like, what the hell's wrong with you? Come on, wake up. And that's all I can say to people. Wake up and find things out on your own. Do you know how many times I've heard online, oh, dead? I don't go tell the next person. I go to the Google. I don't put anything with the person's name in. You know why? If they're dead, all you're going to see is dead, so-and-so's dead. But if you put so-and-so's dead, you're going to get all the hoaxes that have happened all along.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the spam. Those sites are amazing, though. Like, they sucker you in.
Right.
With there's this story about so-and-so's adoption. What? They had put the kid up for adoption, and the kid like 7 years old, and then you click it, and it's like some random advertisement for some stupid product, and you're like, how did they get it to be the headline to be exactly what I searched? Like, how did they do that? It's cool. And I'm a tech person, and I don't understand that. But anyway, off the beaten path, do your research, people. Don't just blindly believe things.
So
anything.
Your advice today is for everybody to wake up.
Yeah, wake the bleep up.
Good night, everyone.
Stella, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Nightly Rant.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Google Play.
If you didn't enjoy the show, please just ignore that previous request for a rating.
This has been a Yogi's Podcast Network production.